So today we're going to pick back up in verse 14. And it says, "For as many as are led by the Spirit of God, these are sons of God. For you did not receive the spirit of bondage again to fear, but you received the spirit of adoption, by whom we cry out, Abba, Father." Then verse 16, "The Spirit himself bears witness with our spirit that we are children of God." Now today, I want to look at this term, spirit of bondage, because this is just so important. A lot of Christians, like really true Christians, fall into this. They feel a spirit of bondage. They are trying so hard to live the Christian life. They take their Christianity very seriously, which is a good thing, but they feel a tremendous weight, and it leads to a feeling of bondage and really spiritual depression. So, spirit of bondage, what is this? It's a slave-like mindset. What happens to a lot of Christians is, suddenly they find themselves in Christ. They're in a new life. And they see this new life, and they take it really seriously. But sometimes they can begin to turn their Christianity into a new kind of law, like a higher, more lofty law than the one they were delivered from. Now, we don't really think about it like that, but that's exactly what happens sometimes, and it leads to a spirit of bondage. There are just these endless tasks that you have to do. There are all these expectations, and it becomes an unbearable weight. And you wake up one day and you think, man, this Christianity thing is such a heavy weight. It's like a millstone tied around my neck. I recently heard the story about a woman who decided to stop eating meat because, she could prove it, apparently, because first of all, killing an animal is cruel. It's not a loving thing to do. And so she said she wasn't going to do it anymore, and other people shouldn't do it either. And so, you see, she imposed this new law on herself to try to really get this Christian life right. She took her Christianity really seriously, which is good, but unconsciously, she turned her Christian life into this new law that's looming over her. And we can tend to do this kind of thing. It leads to bondage, it leads to depression, it leads to fear, being afraid of God. That's what Paul is saying here. He's saying, don't do that. Please don't do that. Don't go back under the spirit of slavery, the spirit of fear, like you were a slave. You were delivered from that. We are not slaves anymore. Now we're what? We're sons and we're daughters of God. When you got saved, you didn't receive another spirit of bondage, another spirit of slavery, who's afraid of being punished, who's afraid of being condemned. We've received the spirit of sonship, the spirit of adoption, by whom we cry out, Abba, Father. There is no bondage there. There's no fear there. 1 John says that there's no fear in love, but perfect love, what does it do? It casts out all fear. I'm not afraid anymore. Even when I really just blow it big time, I'm not afraid of being condemned. Now, it hurts my heart because now, you see, it's a sin against relationship. It's a sin against love. That's a lot different. But even when I do blow it, which I do, I know that I'm safe because, He's my Father and He loves me no matter what. What does that do for me? It makes me want to live my life to please Him. It turns my heart towards God. And actually, it makes me love Him even more. You see how that works? It makes me free. So what I wanted to tell you, and just to remind you, He's your Father. He's a Father who desires your good. He's a Father who is for you, who fought for you, who gave His very best for you. That's your relationship to God. And that's your focus now. It isn't to fulfill the law. Why? Because Christ fulfilled the law for you. Now your focus is to please your Father. What would my Father want? It's a relationship of love. It's no longer rules and regulations. It's just a desire to live my life in a way that says, I'm just so grateful. And I'll end with the words from an old hymn. It goes like this: Soul, then know thy full salvation. Rise over sin and fear and care. Joy to find in every station, something still to do or bear. Think what spirit dwells within thee. Think what Father smiles are thine. Think that Jesus died to win thee. Child of heaven, canst thou repine? Repine, of course, means to fear. Do we fear? No, we don't. We're sons and daughters of God.